Welcome back, everybody, to Season 3, Episode 4 of Philly Comedy Club and Last Out Media's RUS GUTIN experience on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts. And it's time for Part 2 of our special edition of Rustle Around the Interwebs, Graphics Explosions. Part 2 of my interview with young Vince McMahon on Young Rock and the host of About Last Night podcast, Mr. Adam Ray, is going to join us for part 2 of his pre-recorded interview. First, I'm going to play another clip from his album, Read the Room, entitled Disneyland Edible Nightmare. You guys are going to love it. And then I'm going to interview Adam all about whether or not on his podcast he gets intimidated doing bits with legends like Dana Carvey. He tells us a bunch of funny stories about opening for the New Kids on the Block on the New Kids on the Block cruise. And then at the end, as an homage to the games that he plays on his podcast, we are going to do our own impression game version of the Golden Globe Zoom call gone to shit. And I'll be doing characters like Al Pacino and Sir Ian McKellen. He'll be doing characters like Robert Downey Jr. and Dr. Phil. You guys are going to love it. So right now, enjoy a clip from Adam's album, Read the Room, and then he'll join us for part 2.
To smoke blunts, joints, right? Makes me feel like Snoop Dogg. Can't do edibles anymore. Swore those off. Last time I had an edible, I had 3 pop brownies, went to Disneyland, and convinced Winnie the Pooh to break character so that he could take me to a first aid station because I was having a panic attack. Yeah, true story. Hey, public freak out in your 30s, table for 1. I can only imagine what it looked like to ongoing children. First time at Disneyland, just seeing a grown man flexing on Pooh in broad daylight, like, you gotta help me, man, my heart's gonna pop out of my fucking chest! Losing my mind. I was terrified on many levels. And then I started getting flooded with all these flashbacks, because then I remembered, oh shit, my folks took my sister and I to Disneyland when we were 6 for like a Save the Marriage trip, right? And, yeah, spoiler alert, didn't work. And, but I remembered getting lost that day at 6 and getting the sweet help from Winnie the Pooh again, who I'm now facing down with 30 years later. So I'm just like, dude, Pooh, you helped me 30 years ago, now you're gonna bail on me when I'm having a fucking heart attack? And this motherfucker in the suit, which I know was not a real guy, because I played Wolverine at Universal Studios. So I'm like, which, shouldn't be the only reason you know that somebody's not the real Winnie the Pooh. I used to play a character too. I know you're probably Kevin from Detroit in there, But I was like, dude, break the 4th wall. I need some fucking help. And this guy would not break the character code of conduct. He looked right at me and was like, like, I don't know what to tell you. That's Christopher Robin, So now I'm freaking out. And people have seen me freak out. So then you get extra self-conscious, right? Pooh walks away, and then you have to just like stand there by yourself, like, yeah, I'm fine, People are like, you cool? You're like, are you cool? Then I had to break away and get indoors. So I went to Splash Mountain. Not before I was reunited. Yeah, not before I was reunited with my buddy who I went to the park with. We had gotten separated, right? So I was lost for a second time. Again, freaking out with just Pooh to come to my rescue. He fucking failed on that mission. Then I see my buddy. It was like we were, like remember at the end of Titanic when people were like saw each other, like, I thought you drowned. Like that's how it was. When I saw him, I was like, I thought you were dead. He's like, where the fuck were you? I was like, I fucking got a pizza and then I found Pooh and I'm free. I had a heart attack in front of a kid. It's a long story, And then we got on Splash Mountain and we started to chill out for a little bit because, there's some tranquil moments. You sit around, you just, get in a log, you just kind of coast down a river, right? Zippity-doo down, zippity-yay. And we start singing along. We're like, we're fucking back. Thank God we didn't die today, And then panic started to resettle in when all these robotic animals started popping out of nowhere every 12 to 16 seconds. Hey, Walt, too many animatronics. Yeah. It's my one piece of feedback. Just all these animals just me, maybe I'm real. Right, just staring at you way too long into your soul. I knew we were too big because at the top of Splash Mountain was an owl, and he looks right at my buddy and I and goes, me, whoo! And my buddy starts nudging me. He's like, dude, Adam, that owl just called you a Jew. We got to get out of here. This place is haunted, man. How do you know? That was cool. I'll give you that. Because, man, I've had some insane nightmares. I still fuck with NyQuil. I don't know why. Probably because the slogan, commercial, they make it seem so carefree. You know, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, stuff you had fever so you can rest medicine. Like, oh, that sounds great. I'd love to rest. And NyQuil's like, yeah, you can definitely rest after you hallucinate for 45 minutes. Get ready to see your dead grandpa on a seesaw in France. NyQuil.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's do it, baby.
Okay, I'm going to call it part 2, and then we're just going to dive right back in.
Let's do it.
Dara and the fam are home right now, but everybody
Great.
can't believe that I already talked to Swiftwind. Okay?
Oh, my God.
Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 3 of Philly Comedy Club and Last Out Media's Russ Gutin Experience on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts. It's part 2 of my interview with Adam Ray on Russell Around the Interwebs. We've already talked about a bunch of awesome stuff, and I can't believe he's still joining us. But Adam, I have 3 more questions for you. Ready? 2 are questions, 1 is a little game at the end, okay?
Let's do
Ready?
it.
Here we go. The first one, and if you see me reading it, it's only because my eyesight is terrible.
Oh, no.
Your podcast about last night is one of my favorite podcasts of all time and one of the biggest comedy podcasts there is. The list of guests is epic. Comedians, actors, even athletes, including Dana Carvey, Shawn Kemp, Joel McHale, LeVar Burton, fucking Geordie from Star Trek. One time I saw him eating pancakes near my apartment on Wilcox, and I said, Geordie's eating pancakes on Earth. Also, Henry Winkler, Jeff Garlin, Fortune Feimster, Andrew Santino, Ron Funches, Chuck Liddell, and if you look down the list very closely in the fine print, also me for some reason.
Yeah.
Did all of comedy call out sick that day? Who knows?
Yeah.
Only time will tell. But this is my question for you, Adam, comic to comic. When you are doing a bit with a legend like Dana Carvey, like I saw you doing the Aliens with Garth the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Is it intimidating?
Yeah, always, because
Wow.
Dana's a legend. But I think, you know, you get to a point to where you everything you do, you know, preps you for what you're about to do. And I'd also been around Dana enough since then with the podcast, him come over to my place, getting coffee, me going to his place when we were trying to flesh out a church lady cartoon, which is not totally dead. So fingers crossed for that. But
yeah, prayers up.
But enough of camaraderie and friendship and back and forth. But it took me a minute to, even on the podcast, get comfortable joking with him and get comfortable doing voices and impressions to him, because I just was so, for the longest time, like, bow down, like, that's your world, I do stupid voices, you're the true pro. And then you just get comfy enough to where you're like, all right, we got similar sensibilities, I want to make them laugh. And we, you know, from phone calls to texting jokes and call me for podcast advice and stuff, you just get comfy enough to where he's still always Dana Carvey. I'm still, when I see him call, I get giddy.
Yeah,
but,
okay, good. Because yeah, wow. I mean, I rode my bike to see Wayne's World.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, yeah, so that was, but he's also so generous and so down. And I think, you know, it helped that I got to a point to where I was trusting more in myself to be funny and to show him what I can do. And I think if you don't do that at some point, then they are just always like, oh, cool, you're just somebody on this show that I'm chatting with. So he only, I think, said yes to doing like my Dr. Phil live show or the virtual show we did that raised money for the food bank, and is down to play because he now knows what I'm capable of and thinks I'm, you know, somewhat funny enough to play with. That's why he, like, you know, he drove straight from San Fran you know, and logged right on and was super tired, but was all game. And I knew that I was like, he's not going to be put off by saying, hey, we're going to do a thing where it's, you know, Tony Danza and Garth or whoever it was.
Right. No, I mean,
aliens.
it was brilliant. I mean, it was just like, for me, I mean, obviously just seeing you run with the fucking bulls, you know, with like that. I mean, it's just so incredible, because what is bigger in your mind from when we grew up than Dana Carvey? I mean, who's bigger than that? So I'm just always so endlessly impressed and proud of you when you're doing that, because it's just incredible. I mean, you just are fearless, and it's nice to hear you say that, because your answer actually surprises me, and that's great, because I'm nervous even talking to you now. So okay, so now listen, speaking of which, you have performed with some of the most amazing acts all over the world. You've performed with ADAM DeVINE in Australia, for example. But I feel that one of the craziest things that you've done is that you opened for the New Kids on the Block.
Oh, yeah.
On the New Kids cruise. So this question
Twice.
is also for my wife. That's right. So we are very curious what it is like to be at sea with Joey, Donnie, and a ship full of super fans.
I mean, the Blockheads are crazy. They've adopted me as one of their own. That cruise ship is 2,500, 3,000 drunk gals in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Wow.
There was a 7-year-old gal that I was taking shots of tequila with one night at like 3 in the morning on the front deck. Like, she's like, she's like, can you tell? She's like, tell you what. She goes, if you show me where Donnie's room is, I'll fuck him for you. I was like, have you ever negotiated in your life? What do I get out of this? And
you gotta open with more than you think you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I mean, no judgment. I mean, these people were diehard fans. Some were just like, oh, this experience sounds fun. I've heard of it. It's a cruise. It's being around the energy of people that are just all about a group that's still rocking, and they're so giving to the fans. They put on a lot of show. It's also, I don't know how other concert cruises are. I've heard there's some that are less there's less engagement, because really the whole day there's picture things, there's shows in the afternoon, there's the concerts at night, there's the dance party after the concert. I mean, it's like they give a full
Sarah, you get your money's listening? Worth. Okay.
You get your money's worth. And then me being on there added some comedy, some stand-up, and then Joey and I did these he had a thing called Duets at Dusk, where the first time they had people that could win a contest to sing a duet with Joey, and then I asked them, I go, let me do one. And so I wrote a song about my experience on the concert. I think it's on YouTube if you just type in Adam Ray New Kids Cruise, and their keyboard player Rob Lewis, who also plays for Christina Aguilera and Backstreet Boys, gangster Rob Lewis. And so I was like, hey, I wrote a little goofy song. Can you say something, just, you know, a cappella? And he's like, for sure. So we did that. And then the next year, Joey and I did a whole sketch where I was a girl super fan, and then we made up lyrics to the Rent song, 525,600 minutes. And then it ended with me dropping to my knees. That's also on YouTube, trying to blow Joe. And then they have their security guard, Vic, come out of just a fucking tank of a dude, run off to the side and grab me and body slam me to the ground and then drag me off stage. Dude, it's unbelievable. Like, and I go, he goes, how hard do you want me to hit me? I go, dude, I mean, you know, go for it. Obviously, I'll try to turn a little bit so that you don't completely take me out. But and then he drags me off stage, and it's like, I mean, it was standing.
Don't crack a rib, you know.
Yeah. I was like, but for the sake of comedy, maybe crack a rib. I got
whatever
10
it
ribs,
takes.
I think. I don't know. Yeah.
No, that is incredible. I was
fun.
Curious, like, if you're ever in the mini bar on the New Kids cruise and you look inside of it, is there an Oreos? Are they an extra charge? That's where my Jew head goes about.
You stayed up all night just to write that joke, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it took me 7 hours, and the kids that wrote it for me, I've already tased them, you know, within an inch of their lives.
I've already tased them.
They'll never talk back again, I'll tell you that.
There are a lot of New Kid play on word themed beverages and foods, and but honestly, man, like, it was a blast. I found out what truly between that and going on the road with Adam Devine, truly finding out what my liver is capable of holding, because Adam's this Midwest, I've been drinking since I was 12, Omaha, Nebraska kid. And so, you know, I'd be done at 2 or 3, and he's just like, dude, you got to drink these beers that these fans gave to me that I can't drink. And I'm like,
let's go.
I am already asleep in my mind right now, standing up.
Get the runoff.
But then, you know, we go to these certain places and cities, and, you know, in Australia, we went to the Foo Fighters Weezer show because Adam knew the manager for Foo Fighters because he did a Blink-182 music video, and he was the stand manager. So we partied with them after, and then they came to our Foo Fighters came to our show the next night. So you're just like, you get caught up in it, and you're like, you know, and look, I've definitely slowed down now within reason, but it's just a very YOLO.
Circumstances notwithstanding, as they say.
I think if you got to find that balance of YOLO and FOMO, right? Where
Well, one time I got to see you during an ice storm at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia, open for Adam Devine. And what was so cool about it is I drove you guys back to the hotel. It was a Juba. And he was next to my son's car seat in the middle in my piece of shit Ford Focus.
No, they love that joke, by the way. Kyle Walsh, Adam's best bud and assistant, still quotes your you're in the Juba. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the Juba now.
Oh, they loved you, yeah.
Yeah, well, I always said, Adam, did you ever think that you would be next to my son's car seat here in my Ford Focus? Especially with the potholes in Philly. My car wasn't built for it. But I told you where every famous person was shot or overdosed on your way to the hotel. It was
a great tour.
Yeah, it was a great tour.
Yeah. It was a little dark, but yeah.
No, it's incredible. And also, shout out, that makes my day, makes my year maybe. And Adam was awesome on Green Eggs and Ham, another show that we really enjoyed. And shout out to your Ninja Turtles picture in the background from the original 90s movie when they go to the farmhouse. So this is the last one, and then I'm going to let you go. You have an amazing gig tonight, I believe, with some incredible names. Are you on the gig with Melissa Villaseñor and Santino?
It's who is it? It's me, Melissa, Steve-O, Santino, Jeff Ross, and I believe Theo Vaughn, and Papa
Incredible,
Francisco.
Absolutely incredible, and all people that are incredible at what they do. And shout out especially to Melissa and Andrew and all the old days at the Belly Room. So the last one is on your podcast. You like to play games with impressions. I know I played one on the one episode that I was on that, like I said, all of comedy called out sick. And there I was on that same list with all those amazing people. So thank you, Adam. Yeah, no, I will shove it in someone's face. I'll be like, I was absolutely supposed to be there. So this is what I wanted to play with you. I have one or two prepared, but it's celebrities on the Golden Globe Zoom call. So I will go first if it makes you feel better. Sound good? I think that sounds fair. I'll go first. I'll do Al Pacino being startled awake, and then you go, and then I'll go. Sound good?
Great.
Okay. Hooah! Sean Penn! What? Hello? Go! I want to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press for letting me get revenge on the Nazis. What? I love football. I got a huge ass. I love that girl that played Billie Holiday. Don't tell your mother. Sorry.
Oh my God. There's no point in me even going. How am I supposed to top that? A, your Pacino's amazing. B,
whoa,
go when he wakes up. Oh my God. He says go to himself to start it up.
Whoa.
Dude, so good, man. Did not know you had that in the chamber. All right.
Now for best unicorn in an animated series, Swiftwind from She-Ra.
Pacino. She-Ra. For the honor of Grayskull. Where are we? Hi, it's Swiftwind. Thank you for this honor. What an incredible award. But being a Pegasus unicorn, whatever the fuck I am, it's a huge honor. I want to thank the Academy and, of course, the Princess of Power, She-Ra herself. And the entire people at Netflix for giving me an opportunity. And, of course, Granny Smith for giving me something to munch on. No pun intended.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now we go to Sir Ian McKellen, who's gonna join us on the Zoom call. Hello. I wasn't sure that I had hit the link correctly. And believe me, I would not do a Zoom call unless I had no other choice. I am also, Adam, admittedly waiting for my Postmates order. And I was just saying to Sir Patrick the other day that I had not been eating the best during the quarantine. And I said to Sir Patrick, I said, if I eat another burger, I am going to turn into one. I want to thank the Hollywood Foreign Press for having me, and
well, you know, and I will tell you one reason why you're falling asleep, okay? And that's because most people don't get enough rest. They don't eat properly. If you're having burgers for breakfast and breakfast for dinner, then you're doing something wrong, and you're not treating yourself with the respect that you deserve. Look, we all grew up without pegs on our bike, but that doesn't mean we can't scissor a stranger off of Craigslist for a dare in 1998 just to get into that rollerblading tournament. We'll be right back.
Listen, I do not know how Dr. Phil has found himself onto this Zoom call, but I assure you, he is hung as the person that played young Ian McKellen. That's Michael Fassbender, and he's got a wang the size of a Balrog, I assure you. So, and that's
when I hear, I'm sorry, but when I hear you say something like Bender, I think of like back in the day when I was shooting Chaplin. I think, okay, so a Bender is obviously you're doing coke, you're doing meth, you're doing crack, you're doing heroin, but there's obviously so many things to do. Like there's so many things to watch, obviously on Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. There's so many things. Disney Plus. Now Paramount Plus is a thing, but like, so I'm still actually pulling up things on YouTube. I watch Soldier coming home early crying videos. I watch silly cat videos. I watch myself having Benders outside of cheesecake factories. Look, there's so many things on that menu. It's like overwhelming. It gives me anxiety. I take a Xanax. I take a Plan B. I take some Tylenol PM. I take a Flintstones vitamin. Yabba dabba do. Fuck you.
Hi. This is Joel Embiid on the Golden Globes. I just want to say I'm the best defender in the league. And Frances McDermott, she cast on me in the paint. Technical foul on Frances McDermott.
Hey guys, Rachel Ray here, and if you've made a bolognese in under 10 minutes, you did it. Congrats.
Wow, I didn't know Rachel Ray was a chain smoker.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Adam Ray and Russ Gutin doing Celebrities on the Golden Globe Zoom call.
So
Holy
great.
shit, Adam, we did it. You are
did
an
it.
absolute mensch and a prince. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Season 3. Episode 3 of Philly Comedy Club and Last Out Media's The Russ Gutin Experience on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcast. Get Adam's album, Read the Room, on YouTube and everywhere you get your comedy albums. See him as young Vince McMahon on NBC's Young Rock, and subscribe to his podcast About Last Night. Thank you, Adam, for joining us.
I love you, Russie. Thanks for having me, bud. You
I
better
love
have a
you,
third.
buddy.
Better have a third cardboard cutout for the next time.
No, they
we
didn't do
this.
one for the Wells Fargo Center. They didn't do one for the Sixers and the Flyers. I assure you, I would have gotten one.
No, I'm talking about we need you. I don't know what's the third wardrobe we need you in. Maybe
Okay.
Didn't you dress up? Didn't you dress up for Halloween as some sort of character for your?
Okay. You know
Your
what?
kiddos?
I'm seeing it right now. Here we go. All right. I am going to dress myself up as Elsa from Frozen 2, but adventure Elsa. Like when, they're in the forest and there's lots of intrigue and suspense. Because I feel like that dress and that corset is going to bring out sort of my figure and maybe sort of my... You haven't pointed it out yet, but let's face it, Adam. I'm very good looking for 42. You can use the words youthful, ageless. These are all words that I'm willing to accept. So I do think that me in an Elsa cosplay cardboard cutout is probably the next stage of this.
So if your listeners and viewers were wondering, hey, when did the edible kick in for Russ? It was about minute 42.
Gluten-free, vegan. Oh my God! Thank you so much for joining us.
I love you,
Adam
buddy.
Ray.
This was awesome,
I
man.
love you.
Great
All
to see
right,
you.
and cut the recording. Go Birds. Adam.
Dude, great to see you, bud.
No.